It's live?
It's live, yeah.
What up, yo? Good morning, good morning. I'm hanging out with my dude, AB the Hero.
What's up?
Well, we getting it down in the baller state, baby.
Hey.
So what I gotta say this morning is, holla at you, boy, and let's get it right, man. Me and AB finna hit the town and get this right, baby.
Hey, what's up, man? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video, and we're going live this morning, man. It's a lot of breaking news out here in the streets right now. If you was just over here on the JBA Twitters, they just tweeted and said that young Gelo Ball is joining the Los Angeles Ballers and his brother LaMelo Ball this season, the inaugural season of the Junior Basketball Association. And I will say that I will start here personally as somebody who broadcasting and is on the live, doing that commentary during the games. I'm excited because this gives you just another level of stuff to talk about as far as that goes. You know what I'm saying? I seen Gelo play a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, not really in person. I'm watching Melo hoop, you know what I'm saying? So I'm pumped because I'm gonna just be like splash, wet, you know what I'm saying, all of those types of things. But so that's dope to me. But I was over there on the Twitters, man. I wish I had my setup where we could go look at some of them twits.
It's live?
It's live. Yeah, so I wish I could pull up the Twitter right now. Let me see if I can set that up real quick. Let's do this. Let's get the Twitters pulled up. No, we ain't gonna be able to do it. But no, I ain't gonna mess with it, man. But man, that's what we're gonna do from the phone, man. We gotta be resourceful sometimes. Better than Rob. Oh, whoa. Alright. Sorry, y'all. Man, is the stream, what's the stream talking about, man? It's acting up. I feel like I might have to move to a location with some better Wi-Fi. Man, but I really want to hear what y'all think about this whole move, you know what I'm saying, Gelo to the JBA for the summer. I think what people are not realizing on multiple levels is that, for one, the dude is 19 years old, so he still has plenty of time to grow as a basketball player. Like, it's not over. Like, he was in the draft this year and didn't get drafted, but like, what's his name, Kuzma didn't get drafted to what, 2 or 3 years in Utah. That like some players need some time to develop. The dude got a ton of time to develop into a NBA basketball player. If he already got the body, if you see the dude in person, he looked like he's supposed to be in the NBA just off of looks. But so to me, that was like, that's the thing, right? He's still young enough where he can make some moves. Also, this does open the door of, obviously most people think like, yo, Melo is the dude, he's going, you know what I'm saying? Like, by the time he comes around and his eligibility to be drafted is happening, it's going down. So now if you take Gelo and he plays with him for a year, 2 years here in the JBA, plus whatever they go do overseas after the season is over. That's another thing. All of these JBA players are playing now, but they all looking to continue their careers playing professionally somewhere else. So like, all of your favorite JBA players are then going to try to play pro ball somewhere else. I was just talking, if you watch my video I did last night with Coach Robert Sticks Mitchell and Coach Marvin McCullough from the New York Ballers, they were talking about the fact that they're already making calls to professional teams internationally for players in the JBA to play in once this season is over. It's already happening, and we're not even talking about the top guys, just guys who they know have the ability to play pro ball. So once the season ends, Gelo has the opportunity to continue to play professional ball somewhere. Playing in this league for the summer with these guys is not going to hinder his ability to continue to play professional basketball. So that's one thing that I keep sitting here, and I was on the Twitters, and the people are like, what? He needs to go overseas. He still can go overseas. And honestly, if you talk about playing professional ball, JVA season is over August 12th. So literally, even if these kids wanted to enroll in school, and they would miss a day, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, but then there's that JBA international team, JBA USA, JBA Dream Team, whatever you want to call it, and there's an opportunity for that to happen as well. Also, you could think that could happen as well. By the time this is over, he could get the call from the G League and go do that. It's so many different options. This is just a better option, I think, than like waiting all summer to play basketball when you can play basketball here. If you look at around the country, you have dudes playing in Pro-Am tournaments. The Drew League, I just seen Kyle Kuzma playing in the Drew League. Swaggy P, Julius Randle. There's players playing in all of these leagues all across the country right now in the summer who are actual NBA players, and they're not playing, so they're playing in different summer leagues, and Gelo's playing in the JBA with his brother in his dad's league. That just seemed like a no-brainer to do, as far as if you're trying to be a professional basketball player. So yeah, he's acting up a little bit. Let's see. I think he should go back overseas in Euro League. That's the second best league in the world. I think Poland was interested. Yep. From what I heard, Poland was super interested in the Ball brothers. They wanted both of them, and they were like, yo, y'all got the keys. Run the offense. We'll bring in who you want. Such and such. The door was open. So they got opportunities overseas to play in different leagues and all of that stuff. A lot of these JBA dudes do. And then also, I keep getting to this, the JBA international squad being able to play overseas. So they have the opportunity to play against your favorite professional JBA, your favorite international squad. I've said this before, you can count on a JBA league versus BCV Tota's game happening. That's a fact. What's up, Truth Kills? Let me get some shout outs real quick. Mega HH000. What's up, man? I appreciate you jumping on here right away. Big Soldier, what's up? Mr. Michael Lee, what's good? Dirty to God, what's good? I might hop on here a little bit later and we'll continue this discussion, you know what I'm saying? But I know a lot of y'all gotta let that information sink in. And let me see. So he did, yeah. He is it joined the JBA, man. They released it this morning at 8 a.m. Let me see. I'm gonna go through some of the tweets that I've been getting, and we'll discuss that. Kiki, do you love me? The thing too, what I think is funny is obviously folks know that I don't play any of those games. I actually downloaded Fortnite and I tried it, but I didn't understand it. I stopped playing 2K a while ago. But I got a Nintendo Switch. Well, my son, I got a son. He got a Switch at 64 and a Xbox 360. And all of the games that I had, I gave it to him, and he played all of that stuff. But I will probably get back into that stuff because he keep asking me about Fortnite. Kiki, love me. Alright, so let's see. Let me go through here. So yeah. So people keep hitting me with the like, oh bro, you just think it's a good idea because you do the broadcasting and you gotta say why, bro. It's not even that. One of the things that even afforded me the opportunity to do this stuff is that like I would used to give an objective opinion and think about like, oh, why would this be happening? And I think that people get so caught up in like the moment that they don't see the long-term play. So you see right now, you think people hit me on my Twitter, oh, if he played in the JBA, how's that gonna help him get to the NBA? It's basketball. That's like saying don't go play at the 24-hour fitness because that's not gonna help you be a better basketball player. It is. Anytime you touch the basketball court, you're getting the opportunity to get better. I just watched a video yesterday where LeBron James was at Lifetime Fitness playing against basketball dude, playing over at UCLA. When they had the lockout, all of the NBA players, what did they do? One, they weren't playing basketball. They were playing in every celebrity game, pro game, all over the world. So I just think that people don't realize that playing in the JBA is going to help him for multiple reasons. Because right now he could be not playing basketball somewhere over the summer, waiting for Euro leagues and all these overseas teams and things to get started. Or he could be playing right now versus a bunch of dudes who are hungry. If you have not watched any of these JBA games, then you're missing out on like a bunch of dudes who are super talented and have the opportunity to continue to play on the next level, right? And this is the thing that you also, Gelo is only 19 years old. So, like, the idea somebody says here, he's playing against weaker bodies. That's a bad PR move. This isn't good long-term play. He's 19 years old. There's dudes playing right now in the JBA 20 years old. The fact that he has a more manlier build is going to help him, right? Because you have to show that you can use that. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to move and stay in front of these dudes. When Little Nolan Irby switch over and start going to work, you got to be able to guard him. When Niles Malone come down and start going to work, Drill Springer, these dudes who play ball, like you're gonna have to be able to guard those dudes. You know what I'm saying? And this is an opportunity. He's a shooter. I think people lose the fact that because he played ball overseas, he's really a guy who was supposed to have 1 year at UCLA and then go pro. Obviously, that was the plan. But he's only 19. A lot of these JBA players are in the same age range. They played a season D1. They played a season JUCO. They played fresh out of high school, 17, 19 years old, 18, 19 years old. So it's the same thing. It's the same level of basketball. It's the same folks with the same aspiration. All of these JBA players are looking to get to the pro level. They want to play in the NBA. They want to play overseas somewhere. So it's in line with the level of competition or with folks who are trying to reach the same goal as he is. He'll be drafted next year. I think he will be. I think this is the two-way thing about the draft, right? He didn't get drafted this year, so yes, he could enter the draft next year, right? Or, obviously, LeVar has said this 1,000 billion times. He wants all of his boys to play on the same team, and that team to potentially be the Lakers. So the play would be, don't enter back into the draft. You already did that. You didn't get drafted. Now you just sign a free agency. Now you got Melo, who probably is going to get drafted, and I'm not sure when his eligibility to be drafted comes up. I think it's not this year, but the next year. So he's got this season and another season. So then you got Melo, who's probably going to be drafted. So then you could package them two together, you know what I'm saying? And instead of having to get drafted by a team and hoping they trade you to the team with your brother, you could literally just sign as a free agent. So honestly, when you really think about if you think about this in terms of what personally your thought process may be of what you think is what should happen, but if you think of like their long-term plan, if you listen to like what LeVar wants to happen, all of this is like playing out perfectly into the scheme of things that they really want to have happen. Let me see. Real talk, it may be different players, but it's the same goal and ball. Exactly. Could at least put him another team now. He's just Melo shot on. You know what's honestly the interesting thing about those two playing on the same team together is it adds a dynamic that I think helps them both, right? Because it's not even like playing in Melo's shadow. I think that Gelo has a level of maturity and obviously a bond as brothers with Melo to help him get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Melo is a super talented dude, you know what I'm saying, who is one of the only players in this league who entered this league knowing one day I'm gonna get drafted. So that has to, like, and all praise to him because he's a very humble guy, but like that realization has to be in there somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So I think that having Gelo on the squad and another guy who like has really those extreme aspirations where it's not just like a distant goal or a distant dream, like this is in my fingertips, I think it'll help him continue to be grounded in what he's doing in the league. I don't know what to take him seriously in JBA. I think, man, the issue here is that if he went to one of those other pro-am leagues, he would just be giving them extra pub and appreciation, and folks would be tuning in to watch him. And Johnny Tip says should have joined Drew League or another pro-am league. No one would take him seriously in JBA. This is something that I learned from being around like the brand and the folks who run things. They not really worried about what folks is taking seriously and the criticism that they have. There's a plan and it's a strategy, and I think that they realize even Gelo playing in this league as opposed to any other summer league benefits this league in the way that it would have done other league. Gelo go to play in the Drew League, is going to be one of their most televised games. The views is going to go through the roof. If he drop 50, if he drop 20, if he drop 5, people going to tune in to watch that. Gelo playing here does the same thing for the JBA. It gives them an extra star, and that does that. So, like, long term, once again, the business strategy of it makes more sense for him to play here. You know what I'm saying? And, like, the ideal of it, it don't matter. If he go drop 50 in the Drew League, unless James Harden is on the other end, people going to be like, well, who is that? They're going to start to discredit the Drew League as well. If you making decisions trying to, like, give the haters something not to talk about, you end up really just making you're making bad decisions. Moving dynamic, terrible. Right. Well, that's the development. Also, alright, let's go 100. Yeah, technically Gelo only has a year and a half with the JBA since the cutoff is 2 years. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. LA winning it all now? I don't know, man. There's a lot of teams who have been getting much better as the season has progressed, and then there are some folks who moving pieces around and some players who becoming more and more comfortable. And also, this is the thing I think that caught up with LA, and this is the reason why they've lost the last 2 games or maybe 3 games in a row, is everybody in this league is coming to give them their best shot. The fact that they added Gelo just puts a bigger target on them. Now, Curtis Hollis from the Houston Ballers is looking at, okay, this is my shot. Just how everybody thinks right now that his level of talent shouldn't be playing in this league. Everybody in this league is going to try to show you that their level of talent is higher than what you're giving them credit for. So the level of basketball that folks are playing is about to go through the roof. In the last game we just did with Philly versus Seattle, where you had Jarrell Springer, who's a guy who everybody is high on and thinks that he's one of the best players in this league. And then you got a Jalen Nixon, who's a dude who just feels like, man, why ain't nobody talking about me? And comes out in that game making it his, like, agenda to make his presence felt. That is happening 3 and 4 times fold now with Gelo in the league. Gelo will be in the next LA Ballers game. That will be Ontario, California, July 12th. If Cheyenne Gibson says it's not going to help a bit, is it how is it not going to help? I think that's the when people say it's not going to help, I don't understand how it won't help. Who do you think will be in the JBA finals? I think it's tough to say. I think if you go off standings, you have to put that Atlanta team there. I think honestly, man, the number 2 team, it's hard to tell who that is right now, because every game, the games that you think like, yo, this is going to be a blowout. The Philadelphia team versus Seattle. Philadelphia struggling hella early, couldn't get a W. They show up against the Seattle team, who I thought originally might have been the best team in the league. Everybody's been showing up to play against them. You got dudes like Keezo Brown, who on any night could go for 40 or 50. You know what I'm saying? So that honestly, the calling the finals is one of the hardest things to do at this moment. Get NBA professional trainers. I think that's the thing too. What is an NBA professional trainer? If you think about this, Lonzo Ball made it to the NBA. Who was his trainer? LeVar Ball. Like that's just a real life fact. And also, I would say this. I did this interview last night. Go check it out, with 2 coaches from New York, the New York squad, and they list off their resumes, playing, who they played for, and what teams they in college, high school, pro, all of these things. And these dudes who are the coaches in this league, resumes about basketball is ridiculous. If you watch, I'm listening to the Atlanta coach in training camp the other day. They're back. Everybody's back here, and everybody's back here in California for a mid-season training camp just to develop, and they have individual coaches and all of this. And I'm listening to him talk to his players, and he's like, yo, the defense that we want you to run is supposed to be hard, because this is an NBA defense. This is not a defense that like you were running in high school. You're learning something completely new. And I think that people overlook that, just because you may know the dude who coached Steph Curry or whatever, right? But there are thousands of dudes who have credentials and the ability to coach folks at a very high level, who are playing basketball, who are coaching all over the world. If you go through some of these coaches and you listen to some of the players that they coached who end up making it playing pro ball overseas, the list is ridiculously long. This is what I'm saying. I'm not calling him. He says you did not just call LeVar Ball the best trainer with a straight. I don't think I said that. I said that he trained Lonzo Ball. He trained Lonzo in high school. Trained Gelo. Look at how Gelo looked. Trained LaMelo. Even that right there. This is the thing. Let's really put stuff into perspective. If you think about it this way. LeVar Ball trained 2 dudes in high school, and you could call it 3 with Big O, who were 5-star players. Lonzo, LaMelo, Big O, 5-star players. That's just being, if you look at it objectively, all right? That's all I'm saying. So anybody, if the dude who trains in the NBA says to you, yeah, man, I just coached 3 dudes in the last 5 years who all were 5-star guys, you look at that a little bit differently. Now, in this situation, you might take that away from him because it's dad and you do all this other stuff, but that's just a thing. This league has promised. These games are becoming more and more interesting to watch with all the developing young prospects. What do you think will be the All-Star thing? Will be in the All-Star JBA game? I think that All-Star JBA game is going to be dope. I think that it's going to be different than watching the NBA game, because it's going to still be players And he was a professional athlete. That's another thing. But this JBA All-Star game is going to be something special because it's not like a bunch of guys who just made an extra I don't know how much you make for playing in the NBA All-Star game. So we just having fun with our buddies and we're going to put on the show. These are dudes who are going to take that opportunity in the JBA All-Star game to continue to put on the show because they're all trying to get in that JBA USA league. So when every time on the broadcast we talk about like the dogs and how they coming, like it's not going to be a hey, we having a good time out here and let's not play basketball for 3 quarters and 5 minutes and then in 5 minutes we're going to try to actually win the game. I don't think you're going to see that with this JBA All-Star game. I think who would be the better scorer, Melo or Gelo? That's a tough one. It'd be tough, cause I don't know. Honestly, that's a tough one. I think that when you look at the body sizes from those two, I think that a lot of folks in this league will have a tough time being able to guard Gelo just because he's a lot bigger. But as you've seen with Melo, who's been 40, 40, and 40 and whatever, like they his quickness and his just ability to play basketball makes it tough for folks to guard him on the offensive end as well. What is this JBA USA League? So basically what that is they're going to take the top 10 to 15 players in the JBA and basically do big baller brand challenges, international challenges around the world. So they're going to play in China, Australia, and I'm just hypothetically, Lithuania, Europe, all over the world. They're going to take a team from here and then play all across the world, have pop-up shops and travel. So like that's just an amazing opportunity for a bunch of kids who already have seen the United States this season. But then now to have the opportunity to go travel the world and play against your favorite international squads and teams overseas that you love and hopefully get a W and show that they can be pros on that level too is going to be amazing. And they don't have to deal. There's the thing too that I'm realizing. Here in America, we have like this innate like need to hate first, right? Like overseas, man, there's so many different folks who just love the brand from a distance and like are excited to watch play basketball, whereas here it's like, yo, we want to hate, man. I don't like it. I don't even want to see how it's gonna work. I don't want to hear the plan. But I think that you're gonna start to see once they go overseas, man, the amount of love that they get from overseas is gonna be ridiculous. I would say this. One of the things that LeVar Ball always says that his teams actually play more defense than anybody else because they have more possessions. But also LeVar Ball is not the coach of the LA team. And Gelo would be the #1 option. That's potentially true. Once you get drafted, you can't get drafted again. Once you get drafted, yes, you cannot get drafted again. I don't think so. I really like that JBA is. That's what I'm saying. That to me is what makes this whole thing worth anything. You know what I'm saying? I think that's when it will get more attention for real. It will make. That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's not even the American media has already made up their minds that they're not trying to cover this thing. But the international media will be in love with it. When you look at the London Lions game, you look at how many teams from China, all of the Baltic states showed up to play in on big baller brand international games because they realize multiple things. The exposure for them is there. It's a win-win when you're playing over there. Over here, because you're competing with leagues on our own soil, you're competing with the ESPN, who has partnership with the NBA, the NCAA, who's got partnership with CBS and FSN and all of these folks. Like they have more of an agenda to like not want you to be the next big thing, right? Unless they can get a piece of it. But then if they get a piece of your little grapefruit, then they gotta sacrifice potentially their piece of this watermelon that's been here for years and years and years. Overseas, everybody working with their own little grapefruit, and they trying to get a piece of this American watermelon. And so everybody's like, come on, man, bring your fruit over here. We can put it in here. We can make a fruit basket. And I think that's why that opportunity is going to be the big deal. Is because people don't realize you don't have to sell 1 million. You could sell 1 million worldwide. And that's the thing I also think people miss with the actual brand is the popularity that it has overseas as opposed to here. It's popular here. I walk through the airport or anywhere I go, people are like, oh, big baller brand. Oh. And so, but overseas is even more crazy. I did another play out here at least since, they have been making some adjustments to rosters as far as players and stuff like that, which I think it's one of those things that's tough. And then it's also like, when you think about professional basketball and professional leagues and shoot, even in college, like there's different standards of play that folks want to see, and that's the tough part of the business. I'm not even gonna lie, that's a very tough part for me to even like see happen. But it's one of those things where it's professional basketball, and this is the thing that I talked to those coaches about last night. I think that the JBA not only will be providing a different route, but it should spark some conversation in like challenging the rules of eligibility for the NCAA. As if you really think about the idea that these players who may have played 2 or 3 games a summer season in the JBA, all of a sudden now are not eligible to play college basketball because basically their summer job was basketball instead of working at McDonald's or something like that. I think that when people really start to let that sink in and really understand why the NCAA has a stranglehold on the players, on their players through like dangling eligibility and scholarship and over their face, when people really start to question that, I think you'll start to see some changes. Because right now, people are trying to shoot the arrows this way and be like, oh, this eligibility is no longer because they played, when in actuality, the realization that the NCAA can say, if you want to make it to the NBA, you got to come through us, and if you take money from somebody else, you play basketball, make money off your own likeness or whatever, we're not going to let you play. To me, the fact that people accept that is kind of crazy, because if it was happening in any other way, if in order to play in the JBA, you could not play in any other league and make money, you couldn't make money off your own likeness, and you had all these other things, they would so if any other league did that, if the JBA did that, people would be freaking out right now. So that's the thing. Have there been NAB scouts? No, I'm just playing. NBA scouts. Nobody knows. I would imagine that a lot of the NBA folks is over in summer league, but that's the beauty of basketball and the internet situation now. You don't even have to be at the game; you could tune in. And a lot of these players aren't getting drafted till like next time around, so they got a lot of time. Being at least a coach once in a while for the LA Balls. I don't think that he's interested in being a coach for them. He got a lot of stuff going on. I think it would be funny to watch him coach All-Star team for sure. As a long time, I think as a long time, why are you highly disappointed? That's my question. I think that they're just going back to college or playing basketball. States definitely want to see fit. Overseas will be more love for sure. Alright, let me get some shout outs and we're gonna pull up out of here. Alright, Mega, Big Soldier, Michael Lee, Dirty to God, Ryan Means, Truth Kills. What's up, Truth Kills? MSC Baller 19, what's good? Blueprint Style, what's happening? Happy for him too, man. AB, do you love me? Are you riding Yavi? Laugh out loud. Ryan Means, Skyon Gibson, what's up, man? I feel like I was talking to young Cheyenne Gibson over there on Twitter trying to kick up knowledge, and you know what I'm saying? I might have been shooting. No, I'm just playing. Johnny Tight Lips, Maggie S, Xavier Haynes, Simp for iCarly. What's up, Simp for iCarly? You be riding up and be around all the time. Respect. See what happened, but I know why. Respect. Huskies energy. Shelton was good. Alright, let's see. We got any? Scared to answer what questions? Scared to answer what question? I think they meant disappointed he didn't make the NBA. Okay. Will you do another Big Baller Brand giveaway at some point? Yeah, I will. Actually, man, I got some that JBA. Hold on 1 second. Nah, I will do another video. Opportunity is any opportunity is a good opportunity. JB's alternate route for players is better if he plays a few games, getting some reps, than sitting at home doing it. Exactly. Once it becomes a hit overseas, the U.S. will start talking about it. That's what I'm saying. And honestly, even if it just become a hit overseas, like that's still a win. Serious, this move is not good decision. Gelo will not improve play in the Chino Hill system. It's how many games? I'm interested to think. So this is what I mean when I say short-sighted. Think it's short-sighted. LA has played 4 games. There's 4 games left. Playing 4 games of basketball in the JBA is better than playing 0 games of basketball, or playing pickup games over at 24 Hour or whatever. Traveling and being a pro, being with your brother, being with your family. That's just to me that sounds like a better deal. AB, answer the questions about the kid kicked out of the JBA. What's the question about it? Are you serious? Have players' personal jerseys begin to sell? Not yet. I don't think so. I didn't want Gelo to go JBA, but whatever it takes to keep moving. Exactly. Would be Gelo. Summer League. Well, when is the best for Gelo? Melo and Gelo need real coaching in their life. Real talk. Gelo and Melo's, they just got a new assistant coach for LA. It's a guy who played from New York, played at Long Beach State, played professional ball. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people say they need real coaching, but then they don't know who is the actual coach, right? When you figure out who the actual coaches are, and you see who's around them and who's helping them with the game, and then all of the coaches who are in the JBA, you'll see that they have a bunch of great basketball minds surrounding them. It's just something to think about. Years and years and years of experience. And people keep saying Gelo needs to play in a pro system. We already kind of addressed that with the ideal of like, yo, literally he can still continue to play professional ball. If you think about this, last season he started the season out at UCLA and finished the season in Lithuania. That's 2 different teams on 2 different countries in 2 different leagues. Like it happens. Like that is the essence of playing professional basketball. I think that we get so caught up in the NBA and how big that is that we don't even realize that there's so many different other leagues and different opportunities and players playing pro on different levels. And we're just thinking like, oh, but this is what Steph Curry did. This is what Michael Jordan did. But like literally, there's a dude who you never heard of who's playing in the NBA or playing pro ball, trying to get to the NBA, who is taking a different route, who don't have the $1 billion that Steph Curry did or LeBron and all of these folks, and they can go to Germany and get like it. There's routes out here that people are taking that you have no idea that they're happening. You know what I'm saying? The two coaches from New York, I wish I could remember their whole list of accolades and teams and professional teams that they play for. Like, it's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, folks are already putting calls in. A lot of these JBA players are leaving here to go play overseas once the season ends. Somewhere in Canada, China, such and such. I'm not even like a scout or nothing like that. And I get calls about players from teams who are overseas who are like, oh, tell me about this guy. So I don't think people really catch on to that stuff. Much more ambitious than the Drew League, in my opinion. Gelo is not giving up. He's only 19 teams with. That's what I'm saying. He's 19 years old. He's still got plenty of time. Who is number 31? You think Gelo will bring rebounding? I think so. I think that's part of the why they really want him in here, is to help up the intensity level of that team. The Atlanta team is dope, and I will tell you, every time I talk to the Atlanta coach, what he tells me is what he knows from that team is they're going to play defense. Number one, if they can't score a bucket, he knows that on the defensive end they're going to do that, and that's just something that he decided to instill in them first. As these different teams, who I'm telling you, they really take on the different personalities of their coaches. Some of them like may not be as talented as other teams, so they want to play a tougher game, a dirtier game. They want to make these different adjustments. This whole thing, man. Even talking to, all right, so I talked to the New York coach, and like I said, watch this interview. I talked with Coach Robert Sticks Mitchell from the New York Balls and Coach Marvin McCullough in a video we did last night. It's on here. Check that out, and you can listen to them talk about like, you know what I'm saying, just the game plans that they set up going into this thing, and their approach to the game, and like I said, all of their like and they discuss their resumes and things. But listening to them talk about the adjustments that they had to make versus Chicago, who they were prepared to, like, how do we stop Keezo Brown? Keezo Brown didn't play. Montreal Dixon started going off, and then they started making those adjustments. It's kind of dope listening to them really talk that basketball. Man, this is the thing about nepotism. Nepotism is what runs this country. Like, you want to be in a position where you can have nepotism. In the event that I ever get to a place where I own my own league, company, building, franchise, the first person I'm going to offer a job to is my son. That's just a fact. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing all of this stuff. I like to hold my camera down, but if I could teach my son to do it and we can get in the industry together, it's happening. So, like, I think that people, I don't know. I don't honestly, if you really know the story, and I was telling them this last night, is like, this league didn't even, people think that this league is based off of nepotism and opportunity for the Ball brothers, but really it's more about opportunity for everybody else. And then it was an afterthought to really add them. Took alternate route when he didn't make the league and was getting cut. Got opportunity from the Heat and balled out. Gelo, exactly. There is a lot of your favorite players who, from high school, who did not get drafted, and they still attempting to play basketball right now. Exactly. Exactly. I would say that too. You know what's funny about the summer league? I tweeted about this the other day. Is I didn't even realize that the summer league was on, just recently, until like some of the highlights started showing up on my Twitter. If you go to jbaleague.com, there's a tab that says live stats, and you can get stats from each game. I was on there and I was trying to see if they had like season leaders and stuff up there yet, but I don't think you can access that. I think you can get it for the game, and then based on like the preview of that game, you can see based on the preview of that game, you can see like players' season averages. But I want to say like I don't know if it updates. It's like prior to the game. JBA will blow up. It's June 1st. It's just the first year. JBA jerseys for sale. That's what I'm saying. It's just the first year. And this is, I always say this. If you really look at from the game 1 to game 2, much improvement. If you look at from this first round and what you should expect, like crazy stuff going in the next round. GT, do you love him? His name is Kevin. Clever. Chatty, yeah, mama. I will say this, man. This is, and once again, I'm talking about this interview we did last night, and talking with the New York coaches, and that was the one thing that they also talked about is the truth of the matter is this is, at the end of the day, this is a professional league, right? And right now, there are how many players who just left college early to enter the NBA draft and didn't get drafted and are trying to play professional basketball out and not drafted right now, right? It's a lot of them, right? And the ideal of like, oh, but you know what I'm saying, what are they gonna do? Like the NBA need to make sure they give. If you will declare, you're supposed to get a job in the NBA. If you make it to summer league, you're supposed to have a. It don't happen like that. Like the thinking that like this league is supposed to be. Thinking that this league is supposed to be like not a professional. I don't know. I think people got mixed like wants from this league where they wanted to be hella professional, but then they wanted to also be an extreme charity type thing, right? And I think that it is finding a good balance and being a place that's an alternative route and a place for people to get a chance, for some of them who didn't have a chance before, and this is an opportunity for them, but then also like managing the idea of like there's a certain level of expectation for your behavior off the court, for your behavior on the court, for your playing ability. All of these things like wrap into this thing, and I think that as this begins to grow and mold and shape itself, that is becoming more and more evident. And it's also, like I said, and if you go back to my videos that I did about the tryouts, one of the things that I thought was the most interesting is like I thought we were going to every city and we're going to pick up 8 kids, right? No matter what, top 8 kids. And we went to Chicago and they picked up 2 kids, and they was like, look, we don't see kids in here who meet the standard that we want them to play at, so we skipping it. Like this is real. If you show up here and you're not a baller and you don't have the potential to continue to play on that next level, then like somebody here talking about hurting progress and stuff, that slows down progress. Like that, if you don't have the game to go to the next level and you're amongst guys who are trying to get there, like that's what you're gonna see happen. So it sucks, but there are some guys who like are talented but like still need time to like actually be professionals, whether that's maturing off the court, which is there's some dudes who are hella talented but just don't have the discipline off the court to maintain a professional lifestyle, and then there's some dudes who just need time to develop their game. So they be visiting more cities in the US, or will they add more teams in the future? I'm not sure. I think that the plan is, as this continues, is to add more teams and do all of those things and hit more cities and all of that, but that's something that has to come with time. You think about LA Bron join the Lakers, will it help BBB brand with Lonzo. I think that LA Bron joining the Lakers and is a great thing for multiple reasons. I think that it takes the pressure, a lot of pressure off of Lonzo, right? So if you look at the news cycle last year from all your favorite talk shows, daily talk shows, it was either LeBron James or it was Lonzo Ball in the Lakers. It was either LeBron James, and they would just bounce topics and then figure out ways to intertwine the two, and that was the news cycle. I think with LeBron in LA, you've seen this already. Like no matter what, he's the face of the NBA. So a lot of the pressure and a lot of the scrutiny that a lot of these other players had, especially Lonzo, with like, oh, did you see Lonzo sneeze? Like, let's make a news story about it. Like that, I don't think that you get those. Every nuance of his whole life becomes a story anymore, because you have this big umbrella that is LA Bron, and then like everybody kind of finds a spot underneath of it. Armand Rice, man, salute you, man. Let me see. Talking about LeVar hiring his cousin as LA coach. Yeah, but somebody talking about, all right, so do you know his cousin's coaching resume? If you know his cousin's coaching resume, Doyle Balazar, and where he's played ball at and all of these things, and then you say like, that's nepotism, then that makes sense. But if you don't know his resume, then you really can't make that decision, because like I said, everybody has a resume. Nobody has a job like that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's here doing something that they like don't have the resume to back up. And also, there is some folks who getting a shot, you know what I'm saying, to play ball. What's up? Nah, the suit jackets. Hold on. First of all, the chicken in the oven, man. That's a key reference. You know what I'm saying? Break that down. There's so many layers to the chicken in the oven, and pulling that boy out. Because when you pull that chicken out the oven, it's got to be done. You know what I'm saying? So you cooking. You know what I'm saying? So that chicken in the oven, and that means you starting to cook. When you pull that thing out, it's hot and ready. You feel me? Now, sometimes when you pull that chicken out the oven, you know what I'm saying, it's baked and it might be burnt, and it's just so many different layers to the chicken in the oven reference that y'all got to catch up on. You know what I'm saying? And suit jackets like that, you know what I'm saying? Now, that was a little bit of touch where I was trying to add a little professionalism to the broadcast, you know what I'm saying? So I threw in a little suit jacket action. You know what I'm saying? I try to switch it up. I might give you a little t-shirt underneath of it vibe. I might throw a button down. I might do a tie with it. You know what I'm saying? Just something to keep y'all guessing. Keep it interesting, to keep it funky for myself as well. Kiki, do you love me? Do you want some? Lay it down for y'all. No one. Oh, it's crazy genius. Why no one ever thought about the JBA to help the community? Not everyone fits college. I think that honestly, man, it's not even that folks haven't thought about the JBA. It's just that people have thought about similar things. As two things that people aren't as eager to help out as we may think that they are at times. You feel me? Taylor Kirkham is saucy. He is a saucy dude. That left hand is super saucy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why this hasn't been done yet. Like, for one, people are scared to challenge the NCAA, and because this is the thing I'm gonna keep saying, that they have a stranglehold on like the community. Because even if you have enough game to be paid to play professional basketball, they make it so you're scared on what you could be missing out on if you don't go through their system. So like, you may yeah, honestly, I do need a live stats, man, so I can flow during the commentary. I think that that's the thing that people miss, right? So our commentary, I feel like this is my first time doing commentary, so and I'm pleasantly surprised with my ability to do it. But there are different things that on different levels, if you're a commentator, that you like probably get that like somebody who just started. We don't have that right now. You know what I'm saying? A live stats dude is not a it's not happening. We do have the ability though now with the live stats coming up on the live stream or on the website. So now we can dig into that. We can go live and get stats that way, which is dope. But like then our setup is different. So if we go on live stats here and then we also engaging with the comments here on Facebook and then also watching the game, it's different layers to this, right? So then even I get stats starting off, we were getting stats like after every quarter. So I get a stat sheet after every quarter. So then like trying to get the stat sheet down after every quarter, watch the game, check the live stream. It's a process, you know what I'm saying? But it's dope, man. I've been pleasantly surprised, like I said, my ability to knock that thing out, man. And I'm extremely happy and excited and blessed that they gave me the opportunity. If y'all have not watched it, I think the last 2 games, me and LeVar even sat down and did like some commentary and some Q&A during the live stream, and we got to talk. I actually might go ahead and get that video and upload it here, you know what I'm saying, as well. But we'll see. So what will happen when LaMelo declares for the draft? Well, what will happen to Gelo? I think when LaMelo declared for the draft, I would imagine, I would bet some money that he's going to get drafted. And so then the idea that LeVar, I'm sure, has, because he's had this before, is to get them all on the same team. So yeah, you could draft LaMelo, and you know that if you draft LaMelo, eventually Lonzo is coming, and then if you get Lonzo and LaMelo, then you got Gelo, all 3 of them on the same squad. TT, do you love me? Are you doing a good job, man? I appreciate that, man. NCAA always does get. I actually got a little money off of them from the. No, it wasn't NCAA. Was it NCAA or was it the EA Sports thing? Because I played college football, so shout out to Ed O'Bannon for holding that down for the culture. All right, man. Let's see. Any final questions? Honestly, I never heard LeVar say one of his kids not gonna make it to the NBA. I never heard that. I've heard people say that he said that, but I've never seen that footage. I've talked to him several times about his kids playing in the NBA, and I never heard him say that it's not possible. Kiki, do you love me? I'm down for ya. Burgos is no longer playing for the New York team. Their new point guard is Nolan Irby. I actually heard that Burgos is once again continuing to. He's going to continue to play his professional career overseas. He went to go just straight to do that. My boy from Pittsburgh. You from Pittsburgh? I'm always over in East Liverpool, Ohio. You ever heard of that? That's right over by Pittsburgh. One of my best friends live there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you go one and done, you get maybe 6 credits. Well, I mean, I assume you got one good semester and you 12 credit hours. You know what I'm saying? So that there probably take 3 or 4 classes, and you taking a light load because it's in season. Probably taking online classes over the summer. Love the Lion King jokes. I need to. This is what I'm doing for this week while we got it. I'm coming all new references and all of that stuff, man, and movie references for the commentary and all of that stuff. But definitely, man, if y'all tuning into the commentary and the games and stuff, Facebook, facebook.com/JBA. Check all of that stuff out, man, and show some love in there, man, and let me know y'all coming from the channel and all of that good stuff. But it's gonna be the Facebook live streams is always lit, man. It's litty again. It's litty again. Yeah, he did kill the New York tryouts. I think that from what I've seen, is his game was just so different here than it was in those tryouts. And I think that this is the difference between, like, in the trials he had more of a flashy street ball game. He could dribble it a little bit more and do some extra things. And then, like, here they're trying to run like this more pro style thing. And his actually, and I spoke with him about it. He's telling me, like, his game, the game he played in the trials is not his normal game. He had a wrist injury, so he couldn't score at the clip that he normally scores at. So they were like went into it with the strategy of like, all right, I'm going to extra facilitate this thing so I can stand out. So that's the game we've seen at the trials. And I think that when he brought that game into the JBA, he was trying to get back to his old game, but then like the new game is what I think folks wanted to see, and I feel like it crossed some things up for him. But from what I heard, he's still continuing to play ball and is trying to make it to the next level, man. So that's dope. I think that that's the cool thing with for a lot of these dudes, man. Once you're a pro, you're a pro. Are you doing any more giveaways in the future? Bag of Ghosts, yes. Hold on one second. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm about to give away. Let's go. Chicken, you love me. You love me. Oh, wait a minute now. Alright, so I got this stuff here. JBA. Whoa. Yeah. JBA number 13. The giveaway is coming for that. So stay tuned. You feel me? JBA here. Official shirts. Now these you're never gonna be able to buy these and all that stuff. Bam. 69. Bam. Giveaway. That's the stuff that's gonna be on the giveaway. I like Seaford though, but maybe you should smile. I don't know who that is. Who is Seaford? But so yeah, Bag of Ghosts, that's the giveaway that's coming. They scared because the last time all three of those dudes played on the same team, went undefeated, won national championship. Visiting the big baller again, possibly. I like seeing him pull up at the WWE again. I think that if the NBA don't draft LaMelo in 2 years, then folks need to really be trying to figure out what the hell going on over there. It's obviously a conspiracy. 69. I know, man. This is the only reason why I have not gave out these shirts yet, is because I am conflicted. I will tell y'all this. It's my two favorite numbers. 13, when I used to play college ball, they used to call me Trescadecaphobia because I had the number 13 on. I used to be like, yo, I show up, people got to fear the number 13 because they scared. I used to play that corner. And 69, that's just a solid number, man. That number got a lot of history and a lot of meaning behind it. So, like, I'm like, damn, I don't want to get on things away, man. I kind of want to just hang them up on a wall or something. Oh, what was your questions from last night, man? We were talking, so I was just trying to talk with them. And then by the time we got to the questions, there was so many of them that I really didn't have time to go through them. But let me know what your questions are. I was just playing about the NBA being scared. I can see why they might not want it to happen, though. You think about how much power LeVar then obtains. if he's able to like speak so many different things into existence. I don't think that. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, in all of these different levels, that's why you don't see different amounts of coverage. Is like people realize that there's power in this. There's a person out here who like literally they telling you, yo, you cannot do this, and he go and do it somewhere else. Yo, we gonna stop you from doing this, and they go do it somewhere else. Yo, you don't have this league, and then he go start his own league. Like, I think people don't want you to believe in yourself to that if everybody believed that you could do it, literally anything that you put your mind to, and you can make it happen if you're willing to work hard and put the time in to do it, then that would throw off a lot of people. That would throw off the stranglehold that these different systems have on like our kids. No, Greg Floyd is still on the LA Ballers. Deals Lakers just signed his 1-year deals. Wouldn't it be smart for Lakers to take Melo and Gelo and build around the brothers because they ain't worried about money? I think that makes sense. Small business. Kiki. I don't think he was never cut. He was always on the team. They had practice yesterday and the day before. I was at both those practices, and he was at all of the practices. Kiki, do you love me? Cipher. Louis Silva, Nigga the Dawn, that's his name. 52 block. That's my guy, man. That is my guy. He's one of them players, man, who I hope continues to really pursue his playing career, because he's a dude who is raw. A lot of energy, a lot of talent, and it's somebody who really just hasn't played a ton of like organized basketball, so like some of that rawness in his game shows up. But I love that dude's game. I love his personality, and I think he got a whole shot. He just got to keep going, keep grinding, keep sharpening, and working on his craft. Will current players be able to return it? Current players could go overseas and come back and play here next year. Yeah. Haters don't want LaWar to be right. Comes to this, exactly. I'm telling you that Greg Floyd was never cut and put back on the team. He's been here. D1, D2, D3. This is the thing. Chicago baller Maurice Burrell said, what level do you think the JBA is at? Like D1, D2. Alright. Chicago ballers. Let's go there. Keezo Brown. Keezo Brown when in his prime was top 25 player in the country. Went through some things. Yada yada. We know the story. Also on their team, Dion Lau. Dion Lau, a guy who played Conference USA basketball last year, 6th Man of the Year, Conference USA. A baller. Jarrell Springer, a guy who was going to BYU. A guy, Greg Floyd, Long Beach State. The list of guys in this league who have D1 ability is there. I think what you're seeing is, though, there's a difference between like a guy like Trey Young who is playing D1, and then the other guy who's playing on that same Oklahoma team who you never heard of. They all play D1. They all hoopers. But like one of them come in and I'm Trae Young and I'm going for 30 right now, and then the other one needs maybe to get to a senior year before he's a dominant player. You take a guy like Buddy Hield, who played all of those years in college at Oklahoma, and then goes to the NBA, and then you got Trae Young, who does the same thing in his first year. So like there is that. That's what I'm saying. Like is the all of those different levels of NCAA basketball have different players in there. So that's what you see from this the JBA. It's tough to say D1, D2, D3 or higher, because like these guys are all professional basketball players. Everybody on here could play at a D1 program, and maybe some other dudes will give you minutes right now, and then some other dudes may give you minutes from down the line, or they may come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? It's all that stuff. It needs to change the dates. Days, months instead of months. Straight up. It's hidden agenda to keep knowing Gelo out of the NBA because they know what will happen. Should do a draft next year, not try. Nah, I actually like the tryouts, man, because it gives you it helps with the shot, right? One of the things that people get missed on is when you start trying to recruit players, like you don't get to see everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the issue. You've got guys. There's one dude, Nolan Irby, who's like 5'6". If he pull up and you check the scouting report and you say, nah, 5'6" point guard, we don't know. Like, it's easy to miss that, you know what I'm saying? And in that same interview I said about last night, they talked about, like, some of the junior colleges where you see a guy who's at JUCO and you like, he's probably here because he's in trouble or his grades or whatever, he's not going to, and they just skip you. Like, you have to, that recruiting process is such a flawed system at times because you can't get to everybody. So having a central location for folks to show up and really put on their skill, feel like it gives you a great opportunity to like get a lot of people a shot. It also does make it hard because if you are in there for 2 or 3 hours and you got 100 people, it's tough to evaluate all of them. But I like the tryout thing. I think that, you know what I'm saying, it adds something to it. It shows you who like really wants to be there too, because you see these guys who this Atlanta team, we got 2-3 players on it from California who missed the Cali trials and flew all the way to Atlanta to be on the team. The dude for the Atlanta Ballers who flew from Houston to Philly to be on the squad. Dudes who, you know what I mean? So it shows you like the different passion that a lot of these dudes have and what they're willing to invest in themselves to be on here. It's kind of dope. So what's been confirmed? Who is going to be the first JBA player ever drafted? You tell me first. I don't know. It's tough. It depends on when they gonna get drafted. I'll tell you that right now there's some super talented dudes, and if there's some guys who are gonna get drafted next year, it's gonna be like the Jarrell Springers of the world, the Greg Floyds, some of those guys. I don't know. That's tough. The Deion Lyles, the guys who like have some games that are very polished. Curtis Hollis is a dude who could be drafted next year, or is definitely going to be playing pro ball once the season is over. Yeah. She always hating for no reason. I don't know if they will. I would say that the closest thing is Dallas or Houston closer to Louisiana, but I know that for right now, those players are going to have to bump over and just come play for that Texas team if they really hoopers like that. JBA game in Toronto. That's what I'm saying. You never know. I told you they're going to play internationally, so maybe that big baller brand international team play in Toronto. LeVar could do a league for young girls. I got a sister that want to be in it. Hey, I would say honestly, I would love to see a woman come to the tryouts and put on like that. That would be dope to me. can just join the league. What do you mean? So players can just join the league? Like what? We got during every halftime show, LeVar gets up and he talks to the crowd. Allen talks to the crowd. A lot of times, if there's some celebrity guests, they'll get up and also talk to the crowd. So a lot of folks who show up to support. There's dancers, there's games, they give away merch. The halftime show and the in-game experience is dope. You come to the JBA game, you always got a shot to buy some merch, and you got a shot to just get some merch as well. Why not go overseas? I don't know why overseas as opposed to what. I think that when you start any business, this is the thing, right? Most folks say if you start a business, you're probably not going to make a profit until year 5. So if you think about the cost of starting a basketball league, it's probably astronomical. The way you offset that cost is you partner with big brands and big companies and corporations. You really think about the JBA and what corporations are behind it. There's some pretty big ones. So that's something interesting to think about. That's what I'm saying. I got what you're saying. A combine, that would be kind of dope to set up a combines and have folks play and then write down who you think is the top dudes and then draft to each team. That actually would be a great idea. Then each team gets to pick who they want and draft. That way more players have a chance to make it. Have more players on the teams. That is actually a good idea. I don't know if girls are allowed to turn up at trials. I would say try it though. Mr. CEO, that's what we said. We already said this. He can still go play overseas. The JBA season ends August 12th. What day does overseas basketball start? Not in August 12th. So he could still go do that. I hope that I think that as this goes on, what a lot of people like to do is they like to jump on the wave once it's already at its peak. So once this thing starts to peak, I think you'll start to see more like big names in the black community and celebrities and pros and all that stuff start to really jump in. You see some of them already. Lil Yachty was at the game. Saha the Prince was at the game. Arian Foster was at the game. It's a lot of folks who've been showing up and showing support. And Saha the Prince, and I want to say probably Arian Foster too, these dudes who showed up, like there wasn't even like a call like, hey, I want to come through because y'all, this dude paid a ticket to get in the game type stuff. So that's dope. People didn't even realize Saha was in the game. This is a funny story. We on the broadcast, and I'm looking over, and I'm like, yo, is that Saha the Prince? And everybody like, who is that? Where? And I'm like, the dude over there with the white outfit on with the burgundy hat, that's Saha the Prince. Put the camera on him right now. And this the crew is from Lithuania. And I'm like, yo, hey, dude, hey, that's Saha. Good music. Get him on the... And then so I try to get over there, man, take a whole photo and fan out. Because y'all know I'll be on Instagram straight flexing sometimes. So follow me on Instagram because I'll be on the Bow Wow Challenge every day. I'm not going to lie. LaMelo be playing during the year after JBA season. Seems like VAR likes this posting. I told y'all, man, there's going to be a JBA USA team who will be playing professional teams all across the world once the season is over. I thought they will win, but Gelo in LA is going to be lit. It's litty again. It's litty again. Smart move. Ride the dream is father, creating who wouldn't want to be home with your family when the empire's born. LA, come on now. LA, Ron. Who's been the best player in your opinion? It's hard to say. Hard to say who's been the best player because they all been kind of going at it hard. After the first couple games, I had Nas Malone. But some other dudes who coming on, man. If I need to go through and really sit down and get a top 10, I might get Brandon and Manny to get together and we'll write down our own list and stuff. But I'm excited about that. All right though, but AB the Hero on Instagram. Instagram it's everything is AB the Hero. All my socials. Try to keep it simple. But yeah, Instagram is. I've been getting some good flicks, man. I still got more to come, so check it out over there. Now it gets crazy. They do need to update the site, new players. That's something that's continuing to grow. Like I said, it's the first time. It's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts, so all that's happening. But man, I'm finna get up out of here. It's your main man, AB the Hero. You got any last questions here? Appreciate that, man. In the Thailand cave, I'm not even hip on the kids who were stuck in the Thailand cave. I don't think I heard of that. But yeah, also man, check out this video I just did with Dion Lau. It was kind of funny. We actually did an interview. I got a bunch of content coming out with that'll be dope. And then also I did I talked with the coaches from New York and New York last night, the head coach and assistant coach. So check that out. Those two dudes, great stories for both of them, man. So do check all that, man. It's a lot of content. It's a lot of content. Will you go overseas to commentate, man? I hope that they bring your boy overseas to commentate, because I've been blessed and feeling excited to be moving around and traveling like we've been doing. So to go do that overseas, man, would be an extreme blessing for me, man. It's something that would like be a dream come true. All the way. Maybe get some sleep. Hey, it's early. No, it's 10 o'clock here. But honestly, I've been up since, you know what I'm saying, prepping things. Texas going to be lit July 19th. Can't wait to see them boys ball. Hell yeah. I expect every city the second round to be dope. Houston is going to be dope. Just be prepared, man. Every city. I'm going to tell you this. This is the game. If you got some money and you got to make it to one game this season, and you like, man, I want to make it to a game, it's gonna be dope, which one should I show up? LA versus Chicago in Chicago is going to be lit. This next game here in LA is gonna be lit, but LA versus Chicago in Chicago is gonna be lit. Chicago showed up, and that last time we was there, and that wasn't even the most folks in attendance, but it felt like the house was packed. Chicago was behind us, like, let's go. Chicago wanted that Chicago team to win. Chicago was lit, man. They on them. They got my they got my praise for showing up and showing out for their city. Alright, so, yep. Alright, but we finna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. I appreciate y'all sticking around and tuning in for your boy, man. But it's your main man, AB Hero. We out. Peace.